With that, RG3 Robert Griffin III is now joining us live. Well, there's so many things. In a blowout, people often think you can't take much from it. But, I mean, we have a young Drake Maye. We have a New England staff that had a very conservative game plan. And then there's obviously the Darnold component. Through the entire playoff run, he didn't have a turnover. Just give me your thoughts as somebody who's played the position. And it's, listen, he's bounced around the league, a lot of teammates, a lot of coordinators, sometimes right. Chaos. What jumps out to you? How do you wrap a bow around Sam Darnold, the Super Bowl win in his career?
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold has one of the greatest comeback stories in NFL history. When you look at what he's been through, throwing 63 touchdowns in his first 6 years in the league, playing for, 3 different teams. Then he comes into his last 2 and he throws 60 touchdowns with the Vikings and also with the Seahawks. I think what he's been able to pull off, very few people can do. To go from the 3rd pick, get benched in New York, get benched in Carolina, go become a backup in San Francisco, and then get a starting gig in Minnesota and really take advantage of it. You saw what happened in Minnesota when he left. So I just think Sam Darnold, the way he handled the game was very unique because he wasn't very efficient. And it's not like he played lights out. Yeah. But I think this game kind of solidified for me the whole debate around whether you take the points or you go for it on 4th down. Every single time Seattle took the points. And in big-time matchups like the Super Bowl, when everyone's really, really nervous, you see points on that board, it changes the outcome of everything. The defense plays with more energy. And I think that Seahawks defense, they're not getting this type of praise, but I think they're probably one of the best defenses of all time.
Yeah, analytics are funny. There was a moment Seattle could have gone for it at about the 40, and they punted it. And my take was New England needed a break. It could be a block. It could be a block punt. It could be they needed a break, and it's like, their defense was playing well. Why give them a break? Why get stuffed and give them great field position? So, that's a crime. I don't know what analytics said, but my take is when offenses need help, don't help them. And Seattle's like, we're just going to keep kicking field goals, and if we beat you 9-0, we're going to live with it. When you look at Drake Maye, I think Chris Collinsworth said it at halftime, and I don't think he wanted to say it, but he kind of came out and just said, Drake Maye's he's not ready for this. You're watching in a stadium. What did you see? Yeah,
I think Drake Maye, this is my biggest critique of him for the entire game, and it was really for the entire playoffs. He'd had a bunch of scrambles in the postseason. I think he led the NFL in scramble yardage. But when his team needed him to truly take over the game, I felt like he passed the ball. I say that to say, I'm not a big LeBron hater, but some people say LeBron in big moments, he passes the ball to someone else to shoot it because he doesn't want to take the shot. And I felt like in those moments, you have to be like Jordan. When things get bad, you have to get great. And Drake Maye, too many times, was sitting in the pocket, in my opinion, when he knew he had free runners, when he knew his offensive line was a bunch of traffic cones out there and they couldn't block a soul. When he knew that, don't even get me started on Will Campbell, a left tackle. Yeah. Lord have mercy. Everybody was trying to swipe their card on that dining hall because everybody was eating when they went against him. Right. So I think in that moment, and when you're the quarterback and you have the athletic ability that Drake Maye does possess, you have to say, all right, my clock has to speed up a little bit. I'm not going to get jittery in the pocket, but what I am going to do is I'm going to get out here, and I've said it multiple times, get jiggy with it. Listen, man, if you guys can't block him, you got to help him block him. You don't know how many times in my career my offensive lineman came to me and said, "Oh, thank you, Jesus, for making that guy miss," because I couldn't block him, but it gave me a little bit of confidence to know that you're going to make my wrongs right a couple times a game to give me the confidence to shoot my hands and know that I can go out there and do it. That was probably the most disappointing thing for me from Drake Maye, aside from the fact that they got to fix the O-line and they need more primetime players at wide receiver because I think you saw it, Colin. When you get into those games, it's all about the Jimmies and the Joes, not just the X's and the O's, and the Patriots got beat in both regards.
Yeah, do you worry at all that Clint Kubiak is leaving and may take a couple of coaches with him? Sam's had a lot of success with 2 different teams. Yeah. It was interesting. Matt Hasselbeck came on earlier, and he goes, I think they'll keep Kenneth Walker because you're going to have so much movement on the staff. John Snyder's going to be like, we're going to keep even though the running back is not a pass catcher, not a great blocker, he's continuity. Do you worry about Kubiak leaving?
Yeah, you always worry about the coordinator leaving because they create a rapport with the players. They know how to call the plays, and that's what a lot of people, at home, and even obviously some former players that I'm hearing talking today don't realize is the plays matter, but when they get called, how they get called, how the coordinator knows the quarterback's temperament, what he needs in those moments, all those things matter. I think we see that in Philly with Jalen Hurts and how many coordinators he's had. The guys that have called the games best for him have the best feel for that QB. So I think they should keep Kenneth Walker III. I know they're gonna get Zach Charbonnet back.
Yeah.
That's a great 1-2 punch. And really the concern for me isn't as much Kubiak, but it's like, what does Cooper Kupp do? Because now he's a 2-time Super Bowl champ. He's an offensive player of the year, Super Bowl MVP. Does he walk away? Does he ride off into the sunset? Because I don't think people really give him credit because he didn't have the season that Jackson Smith-Njigba had. Right. But who was the number one guy they went to as soon as Jackson Smith-Njigba went out? Yeah. It was Cooper Kupp. He's a big reason why that they won that Super Bowl. So I am concerned about the coordinator, but I think that they're going to do what they have to do defensively to make sure they keep a lot of that defense, and then they can retool through the draft on offense.
Do you worry that Seattle, and they draft so well, they do have cap space, which is just frightening because they don't have a hole. They're special. I mean, it's like the coach is just going into his prime. Darnold's now right in the thick of his prime.
Yep.
But you don't necessarily want to bring the entire band back. Is there anything you'd tweak? I know it's a loaded question, but when you look at Seattle, like I said earlier, Rashid Shaheed is wonderful, but I wouldn't pay him a fortune because I think they went and got him because they felt like they were a Super Bowl team and just needed a little icing on a great cake. Mm-hmm. Any other moves Seattle could do to you, or are you just going to say, listen, we're loaded, bring back Walker, we're good?
No, I always think that teams, they make that mistake when they win the previous year. What you have to realize is now that every team that saw you is coming back, and they're gearing their team to beat you because you're now the standard. So I agree. Rashid Shaheed was a great addition for them, especially on special teams, the way that they went about that. But if you think about the dynasties of the Patriots and the Chiefs, every single year, they tried to add a dynamic wide receiver, whether it be with speed or size, and they tried to add another dynamic running back. I think that, to me, is what Seattle has to do, because I don't see Sam Darnold playing the way he played in the regular season this past year again. And I mean that from the negative sense. Like, he led the league in turnovers. I don't think he's going to do that. But I think they should try to add another dynamic wideout. If you can get Rashid Shaheed back without having to pay out the wazoo and break the bank for him, I would do it. I would try to bring all those guys back, but still add young pieces through the draft. And to me, this team they're set up to be the dynasty that we thought the Seahawks were going to be when they had the Legion of Boom. So I think that's a very positive for them. Like you said, that cap space is scary.
Yeah. The Patriots, Burrow probably, Lamar, Mahomes could all make the playoffs. We've got an offensive coach with Josh Allen. Justin Herbert's getting his tackles back. Trevor Lawrence has got a guy, speed dialing up great plays. AFC quarterback play is not going anywhere. I like a lot of what New England's doing, but did you watch Drake Maye? Did you come away saying, he may not we're not going to get both these teams back next year. And a lot of those AFC top quarterbacks either didn't have O-lines, didn't have their health. Yep. I mean, do you think New England repeats and can get back to this thing?
I think there's two things that's going to be stacked against New England now. They're going to have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL because of the way that they finished. If I was a betting man, the team that I would bet on to get back would be Seattle, not the Patriots, for all the reasons that you just mentioned. But I also think they're going to have to go into next year, and whatever game plan they had going to this one, throw that bad boy in the trash. Because they were playing so conservative. It made me feel, honestly, Colin, like there was something wrong with Drake Maye.
Yeah.
Like, was it his shoulder? Was there something that they didn't want to put him in harm's way, or he didn't want to put himself in harm's way?
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why I say there's more moves the Patriots have to make at wide receiver, and even at running back. I love Travion Henderson. I love Ramondre Stevenson, but they couldn't run the football because their offensive line was so bad.
Yeah.
So if I'm the Patriots, I go into this and say, what player can I go get either in the draft or free agency that is going to naturally make me a more aggressive play caller?
Yep.
We saw that. Now, Randy Mosses don't grow on trees, Colin, right?
Right.
Hell, there's only been one. He's probably the most remarkable receiver we've ever seen.
Yeah.
But you saw how much more aggressive McDaniels got when he got Randy and that offense with Tom Brady. So I think they got to go try to find themselves a receiver that they feel like they can be aggressive with. And Drake Maye, because he was the best deep ball thrower in the league this past year, can really let that thing hunt.
It's always... and I rely on guys like you to kind of decipher this. When you see a great defensive coordinator, like offense, I can see it. Robert, I can watch an offense with Mike McDaniel and McVay and go, oh, my God, multiple sets, lot of movement. I can see offensive efficiency and coaching. Ben Johnson, when he was a coordinator in Detroit for 3 years, you're like, oh, this guy he is clever.
Oh, yeah.
Defense is different. So Mike Macdonald is doing something that Stafford could figure out, but nobody else in the league could. Part of it is Stafford's great, and they employ a lot of tight ends. I think the way to beat Seattle is tight ends. That's why I couldn't believe they didn't target Hunter Henry more. But what does Mike Macdonald do that you see watching and go, oh, okay, that's different?
Yeah. Well, Colin, first I'll say tight ends get us all, right? Tight ends can beat anybody in the world, whether it's on or off the field. So now, piggybacking off of your point, though, I was with Mike Macdonald in Baltimore. So when he was there, the thing that I've tried to explain to people over the past 2 weeks is, why do they always get free rushers to the quarterback? Well, if you have a bad offensive line, they're going to pressure you. But even if you don't have a bad offensive line, they've found ways to get pressure. And it's because at the line of scrimmage, they allow their safeties and their linebackers and their outside edge rushers to determine who is blitzing based off the turn of the center and based off the call point. How do I know this? Well, my job was to break down protections in Baltimore. My job was to make sure that we were directed the right way. And what's the best way to pick up this blitz? That was my responsibility as a veteran QB, helping the young guy and Lamar Jackson, be prepared for every single week. So when we go into practice and I'm going against Mike Macdonald all training camp, all offseason, I'm making the Mike points and they're changing them at the line of scrimmage. And they're nonverbal changes. So it's not like you could say, all right, Mike 43, and then you hear him say, hey, you're blitzing, I'm going to drop. They just do it automatically. And that's what makes this defense so difficult to defend, because you always feel like you're playing catch up. You're playing a catch technique on the backside where they're manning up or they're zoning it out, and they're not afraid to put a big guy on a small receiver because they know they're going to have a free runner at the quarterback. And that's the genius, in my opinion, of Mike Macdonald. He trusts his players so much. You have to be a smart player, but he's always going to give them opportunities to get sacks. That's why they got Riley Mills in the middle of defense, a guy who played 4 games in the regular season and had no sacks. He got a sack against this offensive line. Right. And he wasn't a free runner, but it's just like, it's the genius of him. I'm very happy for him, and I'm glad that now he can go spend more than 30 minutes with his kid.
So am I. I think we all cheer that. Host of Out of Pocket, RG3 podcast. Love having you on the show. Good seeing you at our party the other night in the Bay Area, and talk soon.
Appreciate you, Colin. Party was phenomenal.
Wasn't bad. Going to be honest about that. Pretty good party.